What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Littleroot Lessons 161. Is that right?
Yep.
Alright. As always, everyone, I am Carter Noble, joined by our fantastic co-host, Carl Wilkin. What's up, dude?
I am tired.
I feel that.
I have been trying to follow along Fort Wayne stuff all day, and I keep getting distracted because Unite has their AOS Cup in the same weekend.
Okay.
And so
how was that?
That was a lot of fun. I got to watch all but like the last two matches, which were the two matches that overall mattered. But I don't even know who won. I ended up having to leave, and then I started dinner, and now we're here.
I got to watch everything until it mattered.
Yep. I got to watch this really sick Rayquaza steal by Ender, which was amazing. Other than that, I don't remember any of it.
I got to watch top 4 matches, and the only reason I watched that is because I forgot that Fort Wayne was this weekend.
You forgot?
Well, look, if you can believe it, life has been a little depressy this past month. And so, you know, we're doing. That's about the best I can say right now.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, it's been a lot. I know, you know, obviously we had people in Knoxville and everything who went and played and everything, and it wasn't until they were talking about the who was it? It was Fiona. Yeah, Fiona had her 4 out of 5 fissures hit. I'm like, oh yeah, there's a stream today.
Yep.
Huh. And so, like, at that point, I'm like, I guess I could watch this. That seems cool.
I should tune in. Yeah.
Like, it just didn't even cross my mind that coverage was a thing. And, like, I don't know why, because there's always coverage. But yeah, I got to...
In some shape or fashion.
Sydney was also this weekend, and I can't find anything related to Sydney.
Outside of exactly, I think, the post on Victory Road, I believe most of it was not streamed.
So I have top 8 teams from Sydney, and that's it.
Yeah. Which
is more than I had, like 10 minutes ago.
Looking quickly over this, every single team has Fluttermane.
Yep.
Every single team has a grass type.
Lilligant with the top 8. Okay. I see you.
There's 4 Ting-Lu, 3 Glamora, 4 Dragonite.
Let's see, 2 Chi-Yu, bunch of Arcanines. Looks like 4 Arcanine.
Yep, 4 Arcanine, 2 Chi-Yu, 1 Torkoal.
A lot of Glamora. Like, 3 out of 8 is a lot.
So, the idea is Glamora and Wo-Chien just kind of stall the game out, essentially. You get to toxic everybody, and Wo-Chien just becomes unkillable.
Well, to be fair, you have 2 copies of the same team here with Gyarados. Did Gyarados have 3 copies in this weekend? Because Fiona had Gyarados, didn't she?
I don't know. I know Gyarados was high on my list. There were
2. 2 Gyarados. Atmosphere had a Gyarados too. There were 4 Gyarados out of the top 8 teams
in both events.
2 top 8 lists.
Gyarados was high on my list of this is going to be a good Pokemon because it has Intimidate. It's not the standard Arcanine. Its weaknesses are different, and Ting-Lu is going to be so popular that no one's playing electric types.
Well, like, the thing that Gyarados really has to worry about in this format is, like, Bundle, right? And, like, there's, 2 copies of Bundle here in Fort Wayne, and there's,
I think there's
0 in Sydney?
Yeah.
So, like, when there's less freeze dry running around and there's no electric types in either top 8, like, I lied. There's a hands in Sydney's winning team. So, like, 1 out of 16 teams has a true electric type, and 2 out of 16 has a bundle.
Yeah.
So, like,
just
Eh?
Gyarados was a good meta call.
Yeah, I fully agree. Did not expect
pretty
that.
hard, like a hard check into opposing Ting Lu is a benefit in this situation because Fissure was everywhere apparently.
Well, you also, you resist the Ice Spinner coming off of Chien Pao's. You, like, get to intimidate them. You're able to, like... I'm assuming, like, Dragonites, what abilities are these Dragonites running? Are they multi-scale?
I can tell you real fast.
Let's see, this one is multi.
I would assume multi-scale is the majority of them.
So, like, when there's no inner focus, the 8th place team in Fort Wayne, in the hands of Lev Wiley, Willie,
I don't know.
they were inner focus. The other two were not.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a Lilligant in both top 8s.
Yeah. Lily Cole has been popular.
Actually, it's the same team, it looks like, too. Fluttermane, Lilligant, Torkoal, Great Tusk, Chien Pao. Yeah, sick.
Yep. So
yeah, really cool.
The reasoning here is Chien Pao works with both Great Tusk and Dragonite very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
But then Torkoal also powers up Great Tusk and Fluttermane, so there's a synergy there. And then it also is a good synergy piece with Lilligant, obviously being able to do fast sleep powders after use and things of that nature.
I mean, it makes sense, right? Like,
yeah.
Like you said, there's a lot of synergy here for it. But, like, on face value, when you first see that, you're like, man, that's kind of weird. But then, like you said, when you actually sit down and think about it, you're like, oh yeah, it's just, like, super synergistic with everything going on here.
Mm-hmm. My favorite Pokemon in the top 8 for at least the Fort Wayne event was this Dragapult. I think it is probably my favorite bring to this event.
We're banded, right?
Yeah,
I think that's what they were saying on commentary.
We are banded Dragapult.
Being Terra Steel means you get to beat up all the Fluttermanes running around too.
Yeah, like
which, like, you also have Phantom Forces for as well.
Yeah.
Actually, Terra Steel lets you beat up all the Chien Paos as well.
You get to answer a lot of Pokemon with just this one Pokemon, and Dragapult is so fast anyway that you're outspeeding Fluttermane, you're outspeeding Chien Pao, you're outspeeding Bundle, unless they're booster energy, and you can just tear through people.
Which,
so
interestingly, Justin's two matches on camera that I got to watch, Dragapult did not appear in any of them.
Fun fact, Dragapult's not that great when your opponents have King Gambit.
Yeah, and unfortunately, when you play back-to-back King Gambit teams, it's really hard to justify it.
Yep. But I would imagine the powerhouse of Chien Pao plus Dragapult is going to be very, very popular, I would assume, going forward. Especially with, like, E-Speed Dragonite being the popular combination. It's just like, I'm a ghost type, you can't touch me unless you want to click something that's not extreme speed, and then you get outsped and get bodied.
Have you looked at Lucas' team yet?
Yeah.
Dude, I am in love with this King Gambit set. I know commentary, they were doing a lot of comparisons between this and, like, Palafin. It's like, when you think about it, it makes a lot of sense, right? You get a single Intimidate, like, then you're getting your stat boost off of that, what you would get off of your heroic transformation. You have type boosting item plus Terra type for, like, a ton of damage, plus priority move that matches that as well. So, like, It makes a lot of sense. Like, who needs Iron Head when you can just run, double dark type attacks, Swords Dance?
Well, the best fairy is also neutral to dark, right?
Yeah, like, it just doesn't matter.
You don't need the steel type. When the best ice type is neutral to steel and has a decent defense, and the best fairy type is just neutral to dark, you don't need the steel coverage anymore.
And, like, Chien Pao, like, doesn't really matter, because you also have Arcanine here, you also have Ting Lu. Well, Ting Lu's probably not doing a ton to it. But, like, Palafin kind of just sits in front of him.
I was about to say, I'd be interested in seeing how much, like, Palafin does to Chien Pao with just like a Terra Water Jet Punch or Terra Water Wave Crash.
Pulling up the calc now.
Like both in Zero and in Hero form, because I feel like you're still taking a chunk. Chien Pao is not bulky at all. It's a neutral hit for the most part, so unless you Terra, obviously.
Let's see. Okay. Palafin, we'll just pull up this set, because why not? And then Chien Pao. Let's see. Jet Punch from, let's see, 252. You're probably not going to be max attack, though, right?
In Palafin?
Mm-hmm.
You probably are. If you're looking to do things with Zero form, you're likely max attack.
So let's see. This is max attack. We'll say adamant for the sake of damage output here. Mystic Water from base Palafin does 35 to 52. And if we change that to base 160 attack, it's 60 to 72 into Chien Pao.
That's a lot.
And then let's turn this into Wave Crash, and is a guaranteed Oko transformed, and 70 to 83 in base.
That's a lot.
That's unterra'd.
Yeah, that's
not
Terra.
using your Terra.
Like, I would imagine with Terra, like, you are running scared as a Chien Pao.
Oh, where's the Terra button here? Does Showdown not have a Terra button?
Probably not.
Oh, there it is. I'm just dumb.
You're just blind? Got it.
Yep. Base Jet Punches, just casually 50%.
Yeah.
You're 83% to 2-hit KO.
That's pretty good.
Absurd.
Pair that with an Amoonguss redirecting any hits away from your Palafin, like a Sucker Punch or anything like that, and you're probably in trouble.
Jet Punch, when transformed, is 81 to 96. So, unfort, never an Oko. Because that's also zero bulk Chien Pao.
Well, they're always Sash.
Correct.
So it's never an Oko. It's just putting them to Sash is important.
Yeah, most you can do is, 96. So, they would have, at max, like 5 HP. So, literally any kind of chip KOs.
Exactly. Like, putting them to Sash is super important.
Mm-hmm. But man, Palafin looked really good for Justin. It was very impressive.
How many events has Palafin won so far? That's a lot, right?
A lot?
It's
a lot, yeah.
It's won an event, I know, in every single format, and I think it's won multiple events, like, throughout the history of Scarlet and Violet.
Well, it's got its Regulation C trophy under its belt already.
Yep.
Let's go see if we can find a Regulation B team.
I know also, it's got to win a Regulation B.
I don't know if you... You're right. And, where was that? San Diego? Orlando?
One of the two.
I think it was Orlando Regionals was the first one back, right?
Probably.
I don't know. But yeah, it makes me laugh that on coverage this weekend, they referred to it as Regulation B. Like, they're just, like, retconning the series names.
It's understandable, right?
Like, it just made me laugh when I heard that the first time. I'm like, I see what you did there. I know, like, it doesn't mean anything, but it's stupid and I love it. So, looking down in, let's see, top 16, you'll want to get a shout out to both Charisma and Blizz, both finishing top 16. And a huge shout out to Atmosphere, fellow Double Darms, player, finishing top 8 this weekend as well. Huge shout outs to all three of them. Really just, putting the community on their back and representing. Let's see, Timbit, Olivia, another top 32 to her name. Let's see. I know you and I were kind of talking about this a little bit earlier. Anything down here in tops, in day 2 that you're interested in talking about?
There's a dock spun in 19th place. It's kind of cool. There's a jump bluff in 18th place. It's kind of cool.
How about Cerulege Corviknight? That doing anything for you?
Not really. There's a Taurus in 23rd.
There's a Scizor in 42nd.
I saw that. I'm not as impressed, but I do think Scissor's going to be good. It's going to take some
The rest
time.
of the team around it's really cool. We have Cerulege, Glamora, Chi-Yu, Gara, Gastro, and Scizor. It's really, really interesting.
Yeah. It's a very unique team, to say the least. Looking through it, I just don't think they have enough, they have a very strong, here's Chi-Yu and here's Glamora, and that's it. That's my big special attacker, advantage. And then it's a safety goggles, taunt, Terra Blast, Gyarados that has to Terra to actually do something outside of Waterfall. And then it's a Cerulege, which just doesn't line up in the meta, I don't think, anymore. You're weak to every dark type in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're tearing away from that dark type into a grass type, which there's a lot of more ice answers than there were previously.
Mm-hmm.
So Pokemon like that are just going to be... The fire type Pokemon that are tearing into grass are much weaker now. That we have things like Shenpao and Ice Spinner on Great Tusk and Dragonite, and anything that can run it is going to run Ice Spinner just because it's the best physical ice move in the game right now. And so if they have ways to hit you on that one axis and then ways to hit you on the other, you can't safely bring it, right? You want this Pokemon to do something cool because it's a bulk up, Shadow Sneak, Bitter Blade, Cerulege set with Clear Amulet. You're immune to Intimidate and other stat drops, and you're really, really powerful when you get going. You just can't get going safely. Safely is the key word there, especially on this type of team. There's no Amoonguss or anything to kind of redirect away any kind of hits into you. So that's part of why I'm not high on Cerulege.
Here you go. I got a team for you.
I'm ready.
37th. VJ Sood.
I see an Iron Moth, a Braviary.
We have Gardevoir, Meowscarada, Iron Moth, Azumarill, Tinkaton, and Braviary. This team is some hotness. There's a lot going on here, and I like all of it.
Hey, look, there's that move Ice Spinner I was talking about.
I'm very interested in Braviary here. It has Body Slam on its Sheer Force set, and I'm curious if it has a better normal type move.
I don't think so, actually. I don't think there's a better normal type move for Sheer Force.
Yeah, Body Slam. Body Slam's 85, Crush Claw is 75.
Yeah.
You have the only thing that it learns better than that is Giga Impact, Thrash, and Takedown, and none of those are boosted by Sheer Force.
Yeah, none of those get boosted, so Body Slam is the best Sheer Force move.
You could run Fachade, just in case you do get burnt, I guess.
Maybe.
But that seems a little niche.
That's very specific for a Pokemon you're probably not wanting to get burnt to begin with.
Correct. No, you can click Sludge Wave next to it and go for the poison.
I do like Iron Moth a lot. My problem with Iron Moth in general is it feels a little gimmicky.
I feel that. It
struggles too much. Ground is such a strong type coverage that most Pokemon, if they have a ground type coverage move, will play ground just because it's the safest coverage move. And you're 4 times weak to the safest coverage move in the game. And so it's a little to want. Well,
if you look in top 8, there's 5 ground types. So
yeah, there's 5.
There's 6. I'm sorry, there's 6. I missed the Great Tusk.
There's a Garchomp, 4 Tinglu, and a Great Tusk. I'm just man.
Is Dozo carrying Earthquake? It is. Okay.
This one isn't. The one I'm looking at isn't.
In 8th place?
There's one in 6th place. It's not.
Oh, there is.
That is a solo dozo, by the way. There is no Tatsugiri on that team. That is a solo dozo.
I see that. Okay. I am rather surprised.
I am actually very happy to see that. I think solo dozo is going to see a lot more play. Like, just as a strong water type option.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of good support in things like Yawn, and you have just the best physical move pool of any water type ever, because you have access to things like Earthquake and Heavy Slam and all that fun stuff. So, my boy Max Caliber got 2 in top 8. I'm very happy.
I don't know if you saw, but there's a jump bluff in top 32. Almost top 16.
Yeah, I said that. Yep, I pointed it out very early on.
Oh, see, I started at the bottom and worked my way up.
The jump bluff is like covert cloak.
I'm assuming
encore stuff.
Oh, it's covert cloak.
Yeah.
Anytime I see jump bluff, I just assume it's sash. But I guess if you're pairing it next to Chien Pao, you would rather have its sash.
Scarf Tusk is super duper cool.
Mm-hmm. Dude, this eject pack Torkoal is kind of hot too.
Yeah, that's kind of the tech with these overheat Pokemon is you just like you play eject pack and then you hit overheat and then you get a free pivot.
Mm-hmm. Fire type Terra Blast King Gambit on a Sun team's also kind of hot.
Yeah, it's going to hit you real hard.
Yeah, this team's Arcanine, really cool.
Who needs Arcanine?
This team's really cool.
I believe the Doxbun team right below it was doing Lava Plume things. Yeah.
I would not be surprised to hear that. Today I learned Chi-Yu gets access to Lava Plume. Not surprised to hear that, but
just new information.
Mm-hmm.
There's another Gyarados. There's a Farigiraf. I expect this Pokemon and Serena to see a whole lot more play going forward.
Oh, my queen. Did you mention the Pavilion?
No.
Yeah, this is a Pavilion in 25th.
Cool.
It's with Dozo.
It's not a naked Dozo. Boring.
Imagine not playing Sleep Powder on your Pavilion. Disappointing.
Pavilion suffers from that 4 move Slendrot.
It does a lot, yeah.
It's like, it wants Rage Powder and Pollen Puff and Tailwind and Protect and Sleep Powder and all that stuff, and you're just like, I can't fit it all. In this situation...
to be fair, I think the 4 moves you listed are, like, better than Sleep Powder majority of the time. Yeah, I'm about to
say, it's like, in this situation, I think not having Sleep Powder is fine.
Mm-hmm.
You just want the Tailwind, you want the redirection, you want the healing. This is just like immune to ground Among Us.
Mm-hmm. It's just like Friend Guard Butterfree.
Yeah. That's really cool. I really like having it. It's sad that it's just not good enough to...
It's really interesting that they have Friend Guard Pavilion and Friend Guard Mousehold here.
Yeah. It's just all the damage mitigation. As much damage mitigation and redirection as they can muster.
And you have Pollen Puff on the Pavilion too. So it's just like, yeah, I'm good. I'm going to stick around a little bit longer. And honestly, pairing it with Chi-Yu is like really smart. Because like the Chi-Yu team I played, that was the biggest problem with it. Is like, you can't swap in Chi-Yu. It just dies.
I was counting Goldengos. My prediction is right so far. Goldengo has fallen off hard.
Oh yeah, I'm not surprised to hear that.
I was very adamant that Goldengo is just not good enough anymore. There's 4 premier dark types running around that you can't just make it rain into them most of the time. Because they'll either outspeed you in the form of Chien Pao or Chi-Yu, or they just don't care in the form of Ting-Lu and Wo-Chien.
Mm-hmm.
And Goldengo needs to adapt hard.
So you sent over the usage data from day 2. We had, what, 47 players? Is that right?
There was 47 in day 2, yes.
35 Fluttermane.
Yep. Not surprising. Not surprising. The next highest was a Mungus at 23.
Yep.
And then the next highest after that was the fire types of Chi-Yu and Arcanine at 15. And then 14 Tinglu, 14 Palafin, 12 Chien-Pal, 12 Iron Hands, 11 Baxcalibur, 9 Dragonite, 7 Bundle, 7 Tusk, 6 Gambit, 6 Dozo, 5 of each of Torkoal, Garchomp, Gyarados, Goldengo, Glamora.
Hold on. There's more naked Dozos.
Yeah. There's
more than just one.
There's 3 naked Dozos in day 2.
I had to go find naked Dozos.
Okay. 4 in our 4s there was a lot of Tailwind setters actually in the form of Murkrow, Talonflame, and Corviknight. And then 4 Mousehold as well. One of the big things that people are realizing in Regulation C is Tailwind isn't as important. Because everyone's just playing priority. You're just playing Extreme Speed and Jet Punch and Sucker Punch and all this, and Ice Shard and all this stuff. And it's not as needed to be faster when you just have higher priority moves most of the time. There were 3 Lilligant, Azumarill, Annihilate, Tyranitar, Tatsugiri, and Wochian. 2 of Bonnet, Indeedee Female, Mimikyu, Farigiraf, Aqua Breed Tauros, Ceruledge, and Volcarona. And then there's a whole bunch of singles. There's actually only 1 Naked Dozo because they have all the Tatsugiri broken out.
Okay, that's what I was looking for. Because I'm over here counting, I'm like, there's no other Naked Dozos.
Yeah, there's a Stretchy and a Curly form. There's 3 Curly, 1 Stretchy, and 1 Droopy.
Notably, on this chart, they have the Vivillon in the wrong pattern. So I would like to make a complaint to whoever made this.
What pattern is the Pavilion?
I don't know. I just want to complain. I'm sure it's probably wrong because there's like 300 different forms of it or whatever.
Yeah. That is the wrong Pavilion form because currently, before the Go update thing, syncing thing that's breaking everybody's saves, the only form you could get was the fancy form.
Okay, hold on. What about breaking saves?
So there was something that happened between the purchasing of the DLC, the syncing of postcards with Go to get different Pavilion forms, and Scarlet and Violet, and people's save files were just getting corrupted. This started like a month ago.
Uh-huh.
And they're able to roll them back and get them fixed. It's just it's a process and it takes a bit. But
so how might one go about doing that?
You have to contact Nintendo support.
Sure, man.
But through the Go postcard thing is you can get the different Pavilion forms to spawn in your game. And so now you have access to all the Pavilion spawns you want for different forms.
Is that including like the fancy ones? Like there's like super rare ones that you can only get through.
Certain region postcards are specific to certain Pavilion forms.
Got it.
Like there's a couple that are like super duper like unique and niche that you could only get for having these very specific regions from a postcard. So it kind of pushes people to do gifts on Pokemon Go and play that and reach out and things like that.
Gotcha.
But the base form Pavilion that you can get in Scarlet and Violet is the fancy form.
Okay, sure.
Looking through all the notable like one-ofs here, there was a Hatterene and an Armarouge. The Sizer we mentioned, the Iron Moth, Gardevoir, Braviary, Dragapult. Someone brought Iron Treads, which is really cool. Iron Jugulus, also really cool. The Tinkaton and the Meowscarada. Someone had Salamence. Where's Salamence at? I didn't even see Salamence. Oh, there it is, 46th.
Yep. I was gonna say, I thought I saw it fairly early on when I was looking.
Terra Steel, Life Orb, Dual Wing Beat, Earthquake, Dragon Dance, Protect. Interesting. Looking to
Dragon Dance makes a lot of sense on this team, having redirection on Amoonguss.
Yep.
Pairing it next to Chien Pao is interesting as well. The problem is you aren't Dragonite, so you don't have priority.
Terra Flying Chien Pao is interesting because you can then Terra Flying next to your Salamence, and you can just spam Earthquake all day. That's kind of cool.
Choice Band Chien Pao is also a choice.
Yeah, it's kind of fine, in my opinion. It's just like you're looking
right?
to hit something really hard with it, and then it goes down in a couple turns.
Like, you want to essentially just trade for a KO, and that's good enough.
My interesting Terra type here, this is a Terra Dragon Corviknight.
Yeah!
So, I'm interested into why Terra Dragon is the Terra type for this one.
If I had an answer, I'd tell you.
I'm sitting here trying to think about it, like, so electric would be neutral in the way you electric, you're weak to electric. You're weak to fire. So those both become resistances. You then will also resist water, which means you resist Palafin. You resist grass, which means you resist, I don't know, anything trying to hit you with.
Meowscarada.
Yeah, I guess. The one
Meowscarada. You already resist grass too, so like that's not that big of a sell. My downside is you're now weak to Fairy, and there's a lot of Flutterbane, as we've talked about.
Yeah.
But, like, becoming, gaining a resistance to fire and electric, I think, is pretty good. Again, there's no, like, real electric coverage running around, though. Wasn't there a Rotom somewhere? Am I imagining that?
No, there's a Rotom. It's a Rotom Wash, and it's in, like, 20 seconds. Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say, I thought I saw one.
Kind of looking at day 2 versus day 1. Not surprising at all. Fluttermane and Amoonguss are still like the top Pokemon in day 1. They're the top Pokemon in day 2.
Mm-hmm.
Chi-Yu was number 3 in day 1, still number 3 in day 2. Tinglu was 4. Tinglu technically is 5 in day 2. Palafin was a big winner in this event. It went from like 10th overall to almost in the top 5 technically in usage for day 2. Wo-Chien, probably the biggest loser. Falling down from just outside the top 12, or just inside the top 12 to way outside at only 3 copies in day 2. Bundle, another kind of loser, I feel like.
Bundle is interesting. Like, I don't think it's bad, but I do think that it is much worse than what it used to be, right? Like, there's just a lot of priority moves running around, so like you've talked about, speed isn't nearly as important. Yeah. So having these immunities that Fluttermane provides you, I think is more important than the like raw damage output that Bundle has. That being said, like, there's 2 bundles in top 8, right? And like both of them, I know, like, again, I got to watch Joe's games. Joe's bundle like was good in multiple instances, but again, the big problem was it just was kind of frail a little too often.
Yeah. Joe's team has been pretty much, I think, mostly the same. Mm-hmm. Whenever the new season, the new series starts, or the new regulation rules happen, he always kind of defaults to this Garchomp, King Gambit, Talonflame, Amoonguss kind of core, and then picks and chooses pieces that he likes. In this case, it being Fluttermane and Bundle. Bundle answering most of the scary, quote unquote scary, ruinous Pokemon in like Chi-Yu and Wo-Chien, because I feel like this team would really struggle against like a Terra Poison Wo-Chien outside of like Garchomp in specific. But like that's just kind of what he defaults into. He really likes this Garchomp. He really likes this type of King Gambit. It's kind of just what he's been playing a lot of recently. And I'm not surprised to see no Ruinous Pokemon on his squad. But I think if he maybe have had like a Chien Pao instead of a bundle in this slot, he might have been able to do a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, like you said, bundle speed is what it was good for, and now it's just not as good because everything's just playing priority games now.
Man,
I'm about to say, you're thinking about something.
I don't know. I think that, like, obviously this is just like one weekend, right? But
Yeah.
like if you look over at Sydney, there's 0 bundles in top 8.
Yeah.
And I really
Now,
do just think it's that
part of that is the meta in Oceania is much different than the meta in US.
Oh, for sure. And that's, dude, I'm really excited for Worlds. Just having these huge mashups of like of metas and everything is going to be really interesting to see what is actually quote unquote good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm really excited for EUIC. I'm really excited for NAIC because again, these have those like same feels of like
the
larger events that people will
field.
travel to. Correct. Man, it'd be really awesome to be able to go to Worlds and actually just witness it.
Right.
But unfortunately, I'm not in a position in life where I have weekends available to me to be able to travel. So
and you'd be traveling to Yokohama, Japan.
Also correct.
It would take you a weekend to probably get there.
Correct. Yes.
I don't even know what day Worlds is supposed to be. 11th through the 13th of August. Okay. So.
Oh yeah, I think there's like a 0% chance of me getting that off like ever, because like specifically this year, that's the same weekend as the Missouri State Fair, and that's like a blackout week for us. Like those 11 days are just like blackout dates. No one gets those off.
Yeah.
Because if you can believe it, we're really busy.
Trying to find when the rules and the rules for Regulation C end June 30th.
Okay.
So there is a world where we'll have a Regulation D before Worlds, and then Worlds could be on Regulation E, or if they have Regulation D extended into Worlds, that would be fine.
Okay. You said this runs through June 30th?
June 30th.
So that would mean we would have like a 1-month format of July. I don't think that's going to happen. I think whatever it's going to be, we're going to have for like July, August, possibly
here's the
also
thing.
September.
The DLC is supposed to come out in fall and winter.
Correct.
Usually, for those kind of situations, they will want to get the formats updated for the DLC so people can play with the DLC Pokemon to keep the game fun and fresh, blah, blah, blah. That's why certain regulation rules have only been a couple months.
Correct.
And this one's longer than most. This one's actually above average for what we've had for most of Scarlet and Violet's lifespan so far.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see what they want to do rule-wise, if they want to just say, hey, we're going to play Regulation C at Worlds, doesn't matter what Regulation D is or whatever, we're going to play Regulation C. Or they could be Regulation D is going to be this, because here's your home integration, here's all that, go have fun, play with that stuff.
And I think that's probably what it's going to be. Let's see. When is NAIC?
NAIC is the weekend before the 4th of July. It runs like end of June into July 2nd.
June 30th through July 2nd. So those
it's
events...
Regulation C. It's 100% Regulation C.
Okay, I was going to say, those events, because it starts on the 30th,
yep.
And it is actually a 3-day event. Okay, cool.
They 100% confirmed that already.
So is there anything between NAIC and...
That is the last event before Worlds.
Then yeah, I bet it'll be whatever Regulation D is, which I'm hoping is home integration.
I'm hoping we get home integration before the end of April.
I mean, also, yes, I just don't think they're going to, like, retroactively change the rule set to add them in between now and then.
Well, so here's the thing. The retroactively would only be Charizard.
Like, yeah,
it'd be the starters.
It would be, yeah, you'd be adding in forms. Like, that's the thing. And I don't know if they'd want to do that.
The minute home becomes available, those forms become legal. Because they have the dex numbers they needed. That's how Pokemon has always treated regional forms, they share the dex number. That's how it worked when we got it in Sword and Shield.
To be fair, what did we gain access to in Sword and Shield that we didn't have access to
Ninetales
before? Was that instantly added in?
That was through home. That was the way
we got
it through.
I know the big thing that was added was Friendguard Clefairy. But that's not a new form. That's just a different ability.
That's a different ability that wasn't available.
I think you're right. But again, that was, 2 years ago at this point?
So, just sticking through the rules say these Pokemon numbers are legal. That's all they check. They don't care if it's Alolan or whatever. That's why you can go into battle with Galarian Meowth, but you can't go into battle with Berserker.
And wait, is Berserker not legal?
Berserker is not legal because it has not.
Because it doesn't have a
in this dex. But Galarian Meowth does.
Isn't it a reward for completing the dex or something?
It's a reward you get through doing the school stuff.
So it makes sense for it to not be in the dex if that's the only way to get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can breed it once you get it, and you can pass it around and do whatever. And that's how the Alolan forms are going to work too. It's they can't even keep you away from specifically Paldea marks. It's just not a thing anymore, because you can immediately, once home comes in, you can breed the whatever forms you need, because Everstones exist.
Well, the other thing is, we will also have presumably a NPC that'll give you the battle ready mark, right? Because we don't currently have that, because that's
probably going to be no longer a thing. They made a change to home. Home will get rid of all untransferable moves when it transfers. Yeah, home will do that automatically now. Because there's so many move differences between Arceus and this game and Arceus and Brilliant Diamond. Home mostly will do all that for you.
Interesting.
So the battle, like I said, the battle ready mark's no longer needed. That's why they're specifically, this is the dex numbers we're using. And then when home comes in, it'll just be, here's the dex numbers that we're going to use. If you don't have a dex number, you can't play. And that's why they specifically list things like Charizard and Cinderace and all those other Pokemon that we've gotten through these raid events whenever we get that rule set.
Gotcha.
That's the expectation anyway. Because currently Incineroar and all of them worked the exact same way until they got an actual dex number in Sword and Shield's dex. They were listed as legal, but they didn't have a dex number still. Hence why here's the dex numbers you can use plus these. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It's just it wasn't something I thought about until
you start getting into the nitty-gritty on rules.
Until we started talking about it.
Yeah.
It wasn't something I thought about until you made me think about it.
And so things like the Alolan forms and whatnot probably will be legal once home gets added in. Things
if only we had an episode talking about what forms are coming and everything.
It feels like we just did that last week. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
Oh, man.
Other Pokemon news. We're getting locals.
Yes, I'm so freaking excited. I've already talked to RLGS, and there's like a very good chance I'm going to be running them. So that's cool. I'm just really hoping that. I know we've had a couple that they've ran and everything and had, okay turnout. Nothing great, but I'm hoping with actual locals and it being during the week, we'll actually be able to have like different crowds as opposed to like the way they ran those that you went to and then I went to one as well. They ran them at the same time that they were having TCG League. Like there's kids who want to play both.
Yeah.
And they can't because they're being ran at the same time. So I'm hoping that with them running during the week, that we'll have a better turnout for it.
That would be nice, yeah.
Plus, then I can potentially, put, 10 out of 400 or whatever in my Twitter bio, and people will think I'm cool.
Get your CP in your Twitter profile, man.
Look, man, everyone else does it. Why can't I do it?
I mean, there ain't nothing wrong with it.
Oh. It makes me laugh because, like, I have literally no plans of going to Worlds and or even attempting to qualify.
I think they hyped this one up because it's the first one in Japan and things like that. I honestly think this will probably be a smaller turnout than most Worlds. It'll be mostly the hard grinders and the people who can afford it.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be very hard to get people. It'll be a lot of local people probably there more than just like people traveling to go to Worlds this season.
Yep.
Which
agree.
That's just what it is. It's like when you put it overseas, especially for like the average player that may spike a tournament like 1 or 2 times and gets their CP just slowly but surely, they probably can't afford to spend the however much for a plane ticket and then however much for all the rest of that because they didn't get the travel stipend and things like that.
Yep.
It kind of sucks when they put it that far away. But it works the opposite way when they put it in the US and things like that too.
Oh, man.
But yeah, locals will be exciting.
I'm so excited. I seriously just...
we're getting ours back in May for VGC, right? Is what the current timetable is. It's like May to June, somewhere in there.
Yes.
Just in time for everyone to play through NAIC and then try to go spike locals to get the last like 30 or 40 CP they need to qualify for Worlds.
Going to check Facebook. Yep. Let's see.
I would.
The only thing I have is that they're going to do it during the summer on like Thursday evenings.
Well, I will be at home, unfortunately. I will not be able to attend because I have to be up early the next day, and I don't get off work until 5.
To be fair, we don't have a time yet or anything else, but yeah.
By the time I would get home, eat dinner with the wife, get cleaned up, and get down there, it'd be 7 o'clock, and wouldn't be worth the drive for a couple hours. Pokemon.
Yeah, that's true. I understand.
Now, if you're looking for a place, I got a place that you could probably set up and go do Pokemon stuff in.
Yeah, I don't know yet. I'm interested. Where can I find TCG standings?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Oh, let's see. Fort Wayne, Pokemon, TCG standings. The reason I ask, Tiff and I made a friend with this kid whose name is Luke. he's a junior, and while scrolling through Facebook, I saw his mom posted that he ended up like prizing at Fort Wayne this weekend. So I'm interested to see where he actually finished. I don't know. Why doesn't this work?
Ah.
I don't know. I'll figure it out later.
I'm about to say, I'm not sure where you can go and look up, like, listings for juniors and seniors, like, the events, because they try not to publicly post a lot of that stuff just to protect the privacy of the young children and things like that. Like, it's very sensitive kind of stuff. You don't want to be putting a lot of pictures of, like, their face and their names and things like that. That's why they don't have last names on a lot of the juniors and senior stuff.
Yep, I'm looking now at the juniors listings, and there is no last names listed whatsoever.
They don't. They specifically do that on purpose. Even in pairings, there is no last names.
Good. I'm not seeing him though. That's really unfortunate. I'll have to message her and be like, "Hey, how'd he do?"
Hey, send me info about where he finished so we can actually find him. Yeah. Trying to think of other things going on. Oh yeah, invitationals this week.
Oh yeah, that's kind of a big thing.
We have 24 players qualified. I'm not sure if all 24 are going to participate.
I thought we... Yeah, 24. Yeah. You're right.
You know who you are. You're in the Discord, qualified. Congrats. Hopefully you've taken the hint and signed up for the event. I'm checking right now. I'm going to see who's registered and who's not. Only 5 of you have registered.
I'll tell you who hasn't. Mainly because I'm not qualified.
Yeah, you're not qualified. You weren't going to be allowed to play anyway.
Correct. Mainly because I have to work.
That, and it's your money we're giving away for the most part.
Also accurate.
it's our AdSense, our shirt earnings.
I mean, to be fair, I haven't seen any of that money. Like, we've been pulling that since, like, this has been a thing. So, like, you know, this is just what people are giving us for being a part of the community and supporting us.
We grabbed all of our current Patreon funds.
Yep.
All of our merch revenue.
Yep.
For the last, like, year and a half. And then our AdSense from the podcast. And it's all going back out. Because that's just what we do. It's not enough 100%. To make money and live off of, so we're going to give it back if we can.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's, like, the goal, right? Why not?
Yeah, it's like... It ended up being about $300 in overall prizes. First place gets $100, I think, is what I ended up doing the math out at.
I think that sounds correct. And, you know, if anyone wants to, like, donate and increase the prize pool, reach out to us by all means.
If you increase the prize pool, I get to pay out to more slots. I'm currently paying out the top 8. So, and, it's not a lot through 5 through 8, but I could increase it if I have more money.
Mm-hmm.
But no way, shape, or form are we going to just beg anybody for money.
Exactly. Like, if people want to support us, cool. If not, I get it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We're fine.
We're fine and we will always be fine.
Yep.
I get it.
Oh, but yeah. Invitational will be this weekend. It'll be Regulation C. I'm excited. It'll mostly be autopilot for me. It's double. It's best of 3 double elimination. So it's just like you lose 2 matches, you're out.
Yep. And that's it.
So it'll be fun to watch and see who comes out on top, and I'll get the PayPal ready to go pay everybody.
I'm excited, man. It's going to be a fun weekend.
I hope so. All right. And with that all out of the way, you about ready to get out of here?
I'm ready to go to, eat dinner and go to bed, yeah.
I made these amazing, like, stuffed manicotti shells and wrapped them in bacon and threw them on the grill. They turned out fantastic.
I am patiently awaiting pictures of them.
It'll be once I get done recording, probably.
Alright, that's fair.
I might post them in the Discord, too. Okay. Get us on out of here, bud.
So, alright everyone, thank you so much for watching and listening. If you're listening over on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button, ring the sub bell, all that good stuff. It really does help us out. If you're listening on any of the other audio-only platforms, make sure you hit the subscribe button and, get notifications when our stuff comes out every week. Past that, you can always follow us over on Twitter at LR Lessons, myself at Mr. Missouri 25, Carl's at Musical VGC. Carl and I are both on Twitch as well. You can follow us there at Mr. Missouri 25 and at Musical. Come and hang out on our community Discord. That's where you get to plan all of our events and, qualify for the next invitational next season and everything else that we do and get to hang out and have fun. Our community is fantastic. I seriously cannot ask you, I can't pressure you enough to come join. It's genuinely an amazing community.
Yep.
Past that, you can go ahead and check out the website, lrlessons.com. While you're there, check out the merch page while it's still up, while we, figure out what we're doing.
We're in the middle of transitioning. Yeah.
It'll happen when it happens, and when it happens, we'll let you know.
We gotta find the right partner. That's pretty much what it is.
We've found one, and Tiff has actually ordered a sample for her, because our LGS also had a Teespring shop. And also had problems with said Teespring shop.
I was about to say, have you got your order yet?
I got one of them.
One of the
evidently, they printed them separately. I ordered 3 shirts, and they printed 2 together and 1 by itself. I never got any confirmation that it was being printed or that it was shipped or anything. It just showed up.
Oh, of course. Yeah, we're going to be in the process of transitioning right now, so.
Literally, it's so frustrating because Tiff messaged me and she's like, "Hey, your shirt came in." I'm like, I didn't even know it was printed.
I didn't even know it was gonna be here.
Yeah, I have I think it's called Shopify. No, it's just called Shop. It's it connects your address. It
lets you track your packages.
Packages, yeah. It never had anything come up on there, and evidently there was a tracking number and everything on it. It's just, I don't know what they're doing, but it continues to be a problem.
Yeah, we'll definitely be changing shops soon.
So yeah, if you want to pick up our merch from a company that we're not going to be with much longer, go ahead.
Yeah, get it now. I lost my LRL hat, but now I've upgraded my hat game to this new fancy one I found at Target. Or finished.
I saw you picked it up. I'm assuming you have it on now.
Yes, it is very nice.
I can't see you.
Yep. It's got a hollow Pokeball in the center, and the bill has got the starters for Kanto, and then Pikachu on the underside of it in black and white. It's really, really cool. I have been told I can't wear it to work, so I'm like, well, this is gonna sit in the office and be my new podcast hat probably for a while.
Yep, good enough. Well, I guess the last thing we should do is probably give a shout out to our patrons.
Yep, plug that Patreon.
If you are interested in supporting us and don't want to support a company that doesn't give you shipping confirmation, you can go ahead and go on over to our Patreon page for as little as 50 cents an episode, $2 a month. You can support us and help, pay out our tournaments and stuff.
Yeah.
Huge shout outs to our $10 and up patrons, including Johnny Bravo Sr. and Papa Swish. So that is going to be it for this week, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and until next week, have a good one. Peace.